What's going on, YouTube? Another day. It's been a while since my last video of this thing. My garage is kind of nasty, but it's decent for what it is. The previous video I made about it, I was actually wrong about the mileage. I've got all the documentation to the truck, and this truck actually has 76,000 miles on it, instead of what I said in the last video. I've done a lot of work to it since then. I've put the spec carpet in the truck. This is a seat that matches closely to what it had, but it had vinyl bench in it. Let's see, that's the door panels and stuff like that. I don't know if that was in the last video or not. But I've done quite a bit of work to this thing, putting it back to the way it was when it was new. I still have a little bit of work to do as far as the upholstery and the headliner and pillars and stuff. And as you can see, this truck did have headliner in it. That's what's left of it. Somebody took it out. I'm actually the third owner of the truck, and like I said, you know, it's only got 76,073 miles on it. I don't drive it, but I'd say about maybe on average twice every week. Just trying to keep it clean. I fixed the doors since the last video. I thought it needed hinge pins, but it actually didn't. I just put grease on everything and put the striker bushings back in it. And so if you don't have enough pressure, it doesn't take much of anything to shut that door. But I put the correct mirrors back on it. This truck came out with below eye level mirrors, and the big blind spot mirrors like that. Put the correct white walls on the truck that it had when it was new. Those are the original rims and center caps. I did have to buy beauty rings for it. Didn't have any on it, but that was a long time ago. I've done quite a bit of work under hood since the last video. Put the correct R12 air condition on it. This truck come out with factory air condition, power steering, power brakes, everything you could want. Cruise control transducer right there. Let me turn my light on. I've still got a little bit to do as far as this gap right here, but it doesn't interfere with the way it runs or anything. There's aluminum quadrajet intake, quadrajet carburetor. It does amazing. Does very well on gas. Those headers, I may end up taking them off and putting manifolds back on it, but so that heater box right there is the original heater box to the truck. The only thing that is not is the dryer and the lines, but they are period correct for this truck. That lower line right there may have a different design on it. I'm not 100% sure. But cruise control, it's not hooked up at the moment, but I need some things to finish that up. And there's a compressor which turns freely, and the clutch also turns. It still had oil in it. I may put R12 back in the truck. I'm not sure. I don't 100% know yet. Then again, I may retrofit it to 134A, but I mean, everything is super duper clean under there. Quadrajet, electric choke. This truck runs great. I love it. Very smooth. I did put a different distributor on it. I need the one with the electronic spark control, but don't know. I can still get one from Rock Auto, but haven't done it yet. It's the vacuum ball in the correct place, correct vacuum line going to the back of the intake back there. I don't think you can see it, but there's a 3-port, I guess you call it a suction valve or something like that. But power brakes is hooked up to that, and my vacuum ball, my cruise control right there is all hooked up to that port. I may put AGR back on it just to kind of give it the more correct look. Yeah, it starts up amazing. Everything is working on it as it should, just like it did 43 years ago, almost 44 years ago. It's not really much of anything that I have left to do. Just tidy up a couple of things, like getting this pulled back where it's supposed to be, but the radiator also has something to do with that. That's not the correct radiator. I will be changing that. The correct radiator, the spout would come over here like an angle like so, not straight up, and so that's why these brackets right here do not contact it, because it's supposed to be taller, a little bit taller and maybe a little bit wider. But I just did get done driving it, so it is a little warm, but I'll crank it up here. Let's see. Don't even have to pat the gas on it anymore. Everything's working just like it should. 43 years ago. All these, a factory cluster. This cluster has never been removed or tampered with. I did try and paint this, but as you can see, it turned out looking like crap. But as far as the odometer, that odometer has never been turned. It's never tripped 100,000. It is correct miles. In 2004, this truck had 43,000 on it, I think. And when they took it to the inspection station, they messed up and put 100,000 on the odometer. But that is not correct. But that is the correct mileage. 76,000 actual miles. So everything works just like it should. Didn't even have to pat the gas. I left my foot right there during the startup. But yep. Truck's 43 years old. Everything is solid on it. Original sheet metal. It's never had any body work done. Original sheet metal. 44-year-old sheet metal almost. So anyway, CO81 Chevy, factory original, just about. 46 pounds of oil pressure, mildly warm, cold with a choke set at 60. All these factory gauges except for the fuel gauge. I've got the fuel gauge to it. I'm going to put back in it at some point. But yeah, there she is.